Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement and a very special Gen V penultimate edition of My Mom's Basement with a little New York Comic Con sprinkled on top. That's right, we're breaking down a lot of New York Comic Con news today, actually. There's a lot of panels, there was a lot of trailers, some leaked trailers we'll talk about. How we feeling, Clem?
Feeling good. It was nice to get a little smattering of news from that Comic Con, right? I feel like New York's always kind of been the redheaded stepchild of the Comic Cons. And no offense to the redheaded stepchildren listeners out there, you guys, your parents love you just the same.
Star Wars barely does anything usually. It's like they'll throw you the breadcrumbs, but San Diego is where it's at. At this point, D23 is probably even over New York Comic Con in terms of like big announcements and breakdowns for us.
And even I feel like Comic Con has lost a good amount of luster, like the OG, because that was the event. You get so much stuff. You get all these crazy videos, the funny stuff. And now I think nerd culture has become so mainstream. It's like, I think, and every studio kind of does their own same thing. So I was like, all right, look at New York, the New York office getting a little bit of love here in the Comic-Con world.
Oh, that's funny. They are the New York office of Comic-Cons. It's like, they're working really hard though. Oh, that is funny. Shout out to everyone that came to Fred's, by the way. Right off the top, I wanted to say it was an unbelievable pup punk show at Fred's. Shout out to Paul Skeens and Liffy Dunn, who were in attendance. We probably had, I don't know how to judge. I'm bad at judging crowds. It was in the thousands, though. It was well over 1,000. I would guess over 2,000 under the tent at Fred's for an unbelievable show. We had some awesome openers. Our opening bands we were nervous to get on the stage. They were so good. It was just a good time. All in all, I mean, I had a migraine during the show, which always sucks, but I was still having a good time. That's really goes to show how great the show was, that I look back at it as a great experience while I was dealing with a friggin' migraine.
I love the thought of you being terrible with crowd numbers. It's almost like Tim Meadows' character with Birds.
Yeah.
I feel like, and if any listener knows the answer, feel free to tweet us and put in the comments of the YouTube. There is like a person, I feel like there's a character in a show that was like a comedic relief where they're terrible with numbers. They're like, there was like 6 million people there and there's like 12 people, or it goes the opposite. Where
is it Hank people. On Pardon My Take? Is that who you're thinking of?
That might be the
answer. Just always throw an extra zero at the end.
Oh, that was great. I love how we used to ring the numbers back in the day as well.
Yeah.
That too. I have 875 million people watching on Facebook Live right now. But I'll tell you, man, I don't get FOMO a lot, but I was wishing I was there. Like, I wish that I lived 5 minutes from Fred's, could have went to as soon as your show started till it ended. I didn't want to be having a whole night thing, but it just looked like a good time, sweet bar. And where are you going next, Bob?
We're going to Iowa City next. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to plug it right away on the 24th. So next Friday, we're going to be at, I think it's just University of Iowa, like on the campus pretty much. And it's going to be a great show. Nick Hamilton, an alum, has some stuff planned. He's hitting up all content. It's going to be very good. Should I show the Basement Boys and Girls the shirt I got made for the show? No, save it as a surprise.
Oh, yeah. We're
okay.
We're pocketing that.
I got a custom shirt made for the show, and it's awesome.
Bob, I've known about the shirt, and I have not said it to a soul, including my wife, because I don't want it getting out. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It'll come out one day.
I'll save it. That's something to look forward to in the future. Yes.
See it in person. Go get your tickets and see the shirt in person.
No, actually, no tickets required. How about that?
Oh, even better.
You just got to be 21. You show up to the bar that night.
Can everyone touch the shirt if they go?
Oh, yeah. I'll friggin' throw the shirt into the crowd at the end of the night.
And listen, with Bob, you guys know the Basement Boys and Girls, they are like our special family here, right? You don't even have to like say hi to Bob. You don't have to ask to touch a shirt. As soon as you see the shirt and Bob's wearing it, just touch him. And that'll be your way of knowing that they listen to this very special episode.
It's like the sign on the locker room door, right? Like as you're about to hit the field, just hit it with a nice little play like a champion today. Yeah. All right, let's get into some news. I wanted to kick off with a bit of a somber note, but give this guy his flowers, pay his respects. Rest in peace to Drew Struzan, who passed away after a battle with Alzheimer's this week. He was 78 years old, and if you don't recognize the name, I promise you would recognize his work. His career is unbelievable when it comes to movie posters and illustrations in general. He did the posters for the Star Wars re-releases, a lot of the most classic Star Wars posters that you could imagine. He did an old school Star Wars poster that went unused for a while, and then it did get used. One of my favorites, Back to the Future, the posters that everyone pictures when you think of that. A ton of posters for Indiana Jones, The Goonies, The Thing, one of the most iconic movie posters of all time. Even if you don't know the movie, you know the poster. Blade Runner, Harry Potter, Hook, one of my favorite posters personally. The Muppets Christmas Carol, a bunch of Muppets. Mallrats, another one of my favorite movies of all time. Big Trouble in Little China. Posters that if you looked at them, you instantly recognize how iconic they are, but you also might not realize they were paintings. His ability to capture likeness was so good that I think for a lot of my childhood, I figured they were just like pictures from the movies that you somehow put into a poster. No, these were paintings, airbrushings. There's an amazing documentary about Struzan that came out in 2013 called The Man Behind the Poster. Really goes into all his work. It's free on YouTube. A great throw it on while you're working and just look up and marvel at the amazing, iconic images that he's created. Big part of any basement boy or girl's childhood, I would say, Drew Struzan, and adulthood.
So, Bob, I saw the news and was like, oh man, RIP. And I go, I saw the Star Wars ones and I go, all right, like, that's funny because again, I got into into Star Wars when the re-releases came. That's what got me into the theater, and then I was like, I understand now. So those were kind of my posters at first until I started learning about the OGs and then all the different versions of them. But when you put Hook on there, that hooked me. I mean, for lack of a better term, I was like, oh man. And that's almost, I feel like that's the kind of poster AI strives to do now, right? And you just get some AI slop of it. There could be like a yak right now. They're probably doing an exact yak AI poster right now as we speak for today's episode. And the fact that this dude was just cooking and doing that on his own, legend of the game. And I don't know how many podcasts are giving Drew's flowers today. I'm proud to say we are doing that in the basement today.
Absolutely. In my mind, I said this in the blog. He is to movie posters what John Williams is to movie scores. And I don't say that lightly. He's the GOAT in my mind. When you think about criticisms that posters get nowadays, just like the floating head posters people say, where it's like you're fitting everyone in the cast on with a picture of their head. It's a lot of the Black Panther posters get criticized for this. Even the new Avatar posters gotten criticized for this. Drew Struzan was able to put all of these quote unquote floating heads on posters like Hook. And it doesn't give it that generic feel. It looks unique. The way he was able to frame everything and capture everything. He basically captured like the vibe of these movies in a single image. Think about the posters for Back to the Future, the whole trilogy. It's perfect. It just Marty looking at the watch and Doc behind him. Just everything about those posters. It's like, yeah, that's what Back to the Future is. Mallrats, another perfect example where it's like so comic booky, but also very realistic. Again, the likeness was always perfect. Some of the Indiana Jones one, the classic Goonies of them all hanging on to each other. These are like such iconic images that you associate with the movies as soon as you think of the movies. And it's kind of crazy that they were made after the fact.
So I'm looking now, and by the way, the Back to the Future one, that was actually the one that like hammered it home. And the Hook one was the Hook. It was like finale, finito, benito. And I had the same thought as you did about John Williams. And then I'm like, who's his Hans Zimmer? And I'm looking at the famous movie poster artists on postercollector.co.uk just to see who his Hans Zimmer would be. I got to tell you, John Alvin here. He has a Gremlins one where they're peeking out, hands are coming out of the box. E.T. with the spaceship in the sky. Lion King with Mufasa in the clouds as, they're roaring, the circle of life kind of picture. That's a pretty good one, Bob, but I do think...
Man, I love movie posters. You just naming these, I'm like, oh, iconic. Oh, that's awesome. It's like for us, I feel like this is almost like, this might sound ridiculous to say. People went to museums and they looked at these like Roman paintings and whatnot, and they were like, this is the peak of art. For me, it's like movie posters are what I want to see. Comic book art, like that's kind of like our generation's friggin' Sistine Chapel. I would rather go see a bunch of movie posters in a museum.
I'm almost tempted to text our pal Eddie and be like, yo, we need a dog walk draft of movie posters.
Yeah, have we done a movie poster draft? That would be awesome.
It would be, and it's one of those things that's definitely better for the graphic or on like a YouTube where you can put them up. But I just going through all those posters would just be a blast, just reliving them all.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's this Star Wars one, not that one, like this exact one. And you'd have to be able to share it. But it is kind of like the pop culture. This is as nerdy as it gets, but it's like, this is pure shit right here. And I just looked up, Kevin Smith was like, I didn't realize he did Mallrats as well. And he's like, this was my Picasso who made this. And Kevin Smith, a nerd of nerds at heart, was like, I need Drew Struzan to do my for this movie. What it's about, all the content of it. It's perfect to have a guy like Drew Struzan. So legend.
And he's got the original art hanging up in his theater. If you ever visit Smod Castle Cinemas, the Kevin Smith Theater in Jersey, you could see in the lobby like the original Drew Struzan art. I saw Robert Rodriguez posted this awesome story where Struzan, I think in 2011 or something like that, was auctioning off a lot of his original work. So Robert Rodriguez showed up to buy the Spy Kids artwork that he did. He was like, oh, I would love to own the original. And Struzan was like, bro, I'm not going to let you buy that. I did it for you. Like, this is a present. So he gave it to him, and they took a bunch of pictures, like doing the thing pose and doing all that kind of stuff. It was a nice post. I would recommend everyone check it out. And again, just pay our respects to the absolute GOAT, a legend of the game, someone that made a lot of imagery that will forever be burned into our brains and our memory. So shout out Drew Struzan. He's the best.
If you want to hear or us to do a movie poster draft, just hit Eddie with a tweet out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And if he gets like 5 of them, he's like, what the fuck are all these people asking about? And hey, it might happen. Like, I'm thinking, like, off the top of your head, what would be a poster that you would put on your list? Like, it's a simple one, but Pulp Fiction. Like that's
one of the first ones that came to mind for me. Uma, laying down like that. Jaws, so obvious.
Yes, Jaws, big time.
The original Halloween poster is a favorite of mine. The like pumpkin, but the knife,
Yes.
Such a great one. There's so many. I mean, it would be such a good draft.
I'll let you say it. You can say
it. The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Dark Knight. Definitely on the list. The horror movies are like some of the, and again, not a horror movie guy.
There's so many good horror movies.
Good. Even the Scream one is basic, but it's so fun.
Yes.
Good.
Scream's an amazing one. Yeah. There's a couple of Scream ones, actually.
Maybe we have Eddie on here and we do a draft on here. If need
be. That could be fun as a crossover.
Yeah, who would we? So we would need at least 4, if not 5 people. We could just do 4 because I don't like the voting off. I'll be honest with you. I don't listen to the voting off.
I know it's mean.
It's too mean.
I don't like doing it either.
Yeah, I basically try not to vote off the guest half the time. I just like White Sox Dave is kind of just the guy I have to default to now because someone's always going to vote against White Sox Dave. It's the safest bet you can make. So maybe that'll be a little.
My last couple times, I think I voted off Ed. It broke my heart. I was like, I'm sorry, Eddie. I haven't seen the movie you're talking about. We could put Clemmer on there if we want him to draft like vaudevillian posters.
Real funny, Robbie.
Silent films.
Oh God. I was trying to think who the best 4th person in that would be, and we've talked about having Clemmer on, so maybe Clemmer would be the pick. But then, we're going to be getting Charlie Chaplin on the graphic.
He'd be like, Clem, we're the same age.
I get so bad.
And speaking of the Dark Knight, we mentioned it. Might as well mention right off the top, Timothée Chalamet talked about that being his favorite movie. He mentioned Heat right away as well, which is nice because that was kind of a big inspiration for the Dark Knight, obviously. And he won White Boy of the Year. Give it up.
I mean, has anybody in our lives had a run like Timothée Chalamet is on right now? I mean, if the Knicks win it actually makes me feel even better about the Knicks winning the championship because I feel like that is the cherry on top. That's when we're going, like, we are in the ascent, and then Knicks championship, Oscar, marriage to. I
Which
don't know
one would he rather have? Has someone asked him that? Oscar or Knicks championship? What would he go with?
We need Chalamet in the basement just for that one. We'll go so goddamn viral too if we could just.
I think he would go Knicks championship. I think he's so for the city of New York. He's like, listen, I'll get my Oscar eventually. Let's get a title on the board first.
I need to ask him that question. If anyone has a line to Chalamet, if you have a line to Chalamet, you can interview him. You can ask the question, but you need to basically tag all our socials so we get at least some sort of credit because that's a great.
We'll license the question out. Yeah.
Yes. That is such a good. It has to have been asked. But for the people who don't know, I blogged it just before. I sent it to you last night. Anthony Edwards did like this random award show, which is like 5 awards deep. It wasn't even that much awards, but it was like White Boy of the Year, which I believe was the first award, which is hilarious. Like Rapper of the Year, Sports Personality Woman of the Year, or Sports Woman of the Year, and then like I think Sports Journalist of the Year, which I chose Shams. I can't say his name, but Shams, you know, obviously the NBA guy. And he's like, if you ever get like a tip that I'm getting traded like Luka, you better fucking like call me first before you put it on X or Twitter or whatever. Ant is so entertaining. And our boy Chalamet,
awesome, yeah.
Our boy Chalamet and him were going back and forth and just having the time of their life. And honestly, they were talking about like, if you watch the clip, there's like a 3-minute clip that you quote retweeted. Talking about how, you know, they start talking Training Day, and then like, we should do a reboot of Training Day. I'm like, guys, that's like one of my top, I don't know, 10 favorite movies ever. I would not license out that IP to anybody except literally you two. They are so goddamn fun together. I need them in a movie. I don't care if it's Training Day, a reboot of another movie, something original. I need those two on screen for a period of time. Ant's fucking, I heard he was really good in his movie as well. I think it was Hustle he was in.
Oh, I didn't know he was in a movie already.
Yeah, he's an actor and he has charisma out of his asshole. And our boy,
that clip was awesome. I gotta go see. Was there more to it than just that 3-minute clip?
Yeah, but they give you all the good stuff in that clip. Like I went back and watched the whole thing unedited, and that was pretty much the gist of it.
He was talking about playing MLB The Show, showing his PS5. He was talking about he was in Budapest right now, I think, for Dune 3, really hyping up Morty Supreme. He's such a good marketer. I know he says it about every project, but he's like, I think it's the best thing I've ever been in. I was like, I'm seated. I'm there. So I'm buying my ticket. Yeah.
By the way, hand up, had no clue Budapest was in Hungary. I thought Budapest
Me neither.
was like near Monaco, which I don't really know where Monaco is either. Egypt is kind of in the middle of nowhere in my brain.
Couldn't point it to it on a map, but I was thinking Monaco.
Yeah, and it's like Budapest, like that's where crazy shit happens. Again, I go back to like Marvel, my idiot nerd brain, and I'm like, the Budapest incident. We all know about that. Do we have any
listeners there, you think? Hey, if there's any listeners in Budapest, Hungary, Monaco, let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. I was shocked when I did the 24-hour stream. I was getting calls from Greece in the middle of the night, and they were like, oh yeah, we listened to The Basement. It's like, holy shit, we got listeners in Greece. So let us know. I always like to hear from international listeners, because hand up, stupid American brains, we don't think of them as often. We're like, yeah, our listeners are probably just in the New York City tri-state area. No, we got listeners all over the place. Sheboygan sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Shout out Sheboygan. I was watching the John Candy doc, and I was like, remember when we had that thing about the Sheboygan stuff and all that? We got all the love from there. We worldwide, baby. Maybe what if we get a comment, be like, I'm in Budapest right now, listen to you guys, and it's from Timmy C, and he's a listener.
That would be awesome.
That's the dream. Then you can answer the goddamn questions. We can go viral.
Next news story I just have Peacemaker finale fallout, because there were a few things that came from it. I think a lot of people were kind of in agreement with us. I got to be honest. A lot of people were saying it wasn't horrible, but what was James Gunn doing all that hype work for? It was a bit strange. James Gunn's defense of that was like, people were saying there was no big reveals. The reveals were big: Salvation and Checkmate. And to that, I would say I could see those being big reveals, but like almost in hindsight. To 99% of viewers, those aren't big reveals. I'm a big comics fan. Even to me, I wasn't like, oh my God, Checkmate, oh my God, Salvation. I'm sure both will wind up playing a major factor in the future DCU, and we could look back and say, I can't believe they introduced him in Peacemaker, a spinoff show. But for now, I don't think those were big reveals. One reveal he talked about was, he said he hit up Ryan Reynolds about getting Deadpool in the finale. That would have been something worthy of keeping spoilers, from your publicist and from everyone you know. Even just that talk, I'm like, holy shit, we're going to get a crossover sooner rather than later, with him talking about, already knocking on the door a week after he got the job, basically. I would have loved that. He says we'll see all these characters again in not too long. I'm sure we'll probably get some kind of Checkmate program, or we'll see them in Man of Tomorrow. A lot of people said maybe Hawkgirl should be thrown in Salvation for what she did to the leader of Baravia. I could see all that stuff happening, but the fallout was less divisive than I thought it would be, because I saw a lot of people just being like, oh yeah, it was good, but just not what we kind of wanted out of it.
Yeah, so I've added the Foxy Shazam song to my, like, I do a playlist every few months of whatever I'm listening to. And every time I hear it, I just feel good. And I feel good, I feel happy, and that's the way the season made me feel. I do think it did have its shortcomings in the finale. A lot of that was James Gunn created. Maybe if he doesn't hype it at all. Like,
oh yeah.
When did Peacemaker before Peacemaker season 1? Not, I wouldn't say 90. A lot of us, millions of people are probably saying, who the fuck is Peacemaker? Because they didn't see the Suicide Squad movie, right? But the Peacemaker season 2, they're like, why didn't we get Superman and the entire DCU mapped out? It's funny, the transition from before season 1 to after season 2, but like 90% of that was just James Gunn building it up. I still love the season. I was actually remembering some of the crazy stuff from early in Peacemaker season 1 when he like brought that girl back to his hotel. I was like, that was pretty funny and raunchy. So I might have to rewatch it, but I'm still saying I like season 2 in my gut more than season 1 off the bat. However, Bob, I mean, the rumor going around, and trust me, if this rumor is true, there will be an emergency podcast tonight. Because did you see the rumor that people are trying to float, which I think is just
I did, yeah.
People are saying there's a secret episode. Holy shit! If our boy James Gunn came back with a secret episode after all the bitching and moaning, I think that would silence all the critics, right?
Someone's got to do, and I know people are like, the Sandman did it. We weren't watching the Sandman. Someone's got to do it in the show that we're watching. Yeah. More shows that we were watching that got teased or even leaked from San Diego or from New York Comic-Con. Don't give San Diego the pub. Don't give them the credit. X-Men 97 and Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Both of them had teaser trailers shown at New York Comic-Con. They had panels. Marvel Television had a panel. And they were both leaked on like Instagram stories. X-Men 97 kind of went everywhere right away. And then funny enough, Jessica Jones herself, Kristen Ritter, was the one that like leaked the Born Again Season 2 trailer, or at least reposted someone else's leak onto her story. I think she just figured, oh yeah, they played it at the panel, so I could post it. So she kind of put it out there for everybody. Apparently, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 will be related to the next Spider-Man movie. They said, we don't want to spoil anything, but it very much exists in the same world, and it is important. I would imagine it's a Kingpin connection. We've been wanting Kingpin in a Spider-Man movie for a while. D'Onofrio said it wasn't possible due to the contracts, but they'll figure it out. They figured out how to get Spider-Man into the MCU. I think we could figure out how to get Peacemaker into a movie, being he's already in the MCU. X-Men 97 teaser was really cool. We got a look at Apocalypse again. Very excited for this Apocalypse season. And it's renewed for season 3 already. Season 2 of X-Men 97 will be summer of next year.
Yeah, and then they were saying they're already in talks for season 3 and season 4 where they do a new one every year, which if that works with animation timelines and all that, sign me the hell up for it. I blogged that one and I was like, I don't know which characters have not been in the animated series dating back to the 90s, which were in last year in like a very quick morph in and out of those people. But I saw, Colossus was like a big one everyone's excited about. Psylocke, what's it called? X Factor in general. He's so strong guy. He's Havoc, all that stuff. Wolverine doing the old anime.
I know the come here, yeah.
Oh, that tickled my nerd bone very well.
I want a lot more Bishop too. We saw a little bit of Bishop.
Yeah,
I would love for this to be a Bishop heavy season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And just the Rogue and Magneto are gonna be like very romance based or something. Like, man, this fucking poor Gambit. Gambit might not be coming back from the dark side. I think he might just stay on the dark side when it's all said.
He's like, yeah, just leave me here. Yeah. Other Marvel TV panels and appearances. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 had a teaser trailer as well. I don't know if it was leaked or I didn't really see much from it. But Season 2 will release fall of 2026. So that's nice. We'll have X-Men 97 leading right into that next year. Venom will appear. Daredevil will return. There was a funny clip where Charlie Cox, I guess they played the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man trailer where Charlie Cox's Daredevil appears. And then someone said like, oh yeah, you were in the Spider-Man trailer. And he was like, what? I was in the Spider-Man trailer. And he was like, the animated. He was like, oh yeah. It was like, he forgot for a second. So I'm excited for that as well. I think having a good slate of Marvel animation in 2026 is just like almost padding their record. Like, we know, we have faith in that already.
Yeah, I feel like the live action is going to have to start catching up, because then we're going to go from everything on Disney Plus sucks from Marvel to, man, the animated department's the only people that have this shit figured out. And we have enough of a breath mint from the old What If series. I don't know how Zombies is doing. How's the Zombies doing right now? Is that,
you know what? It came and went like a fart in the wind. Like,
I
nobody's
feel like
really
people
talking
like it.
about
No?
it. I think some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. I watched the first one and I felt fine about it. I didn't continue. I will finish it at some point, but I kind of felt the same way I felt about like the first season of What If, where I was like, this is okay. It's just not what I want it to be, really.
I can't believe I'm the expert of the Spider-Man show right now, the cartoon.
I know, yeah.
It's like you haven't even. Have you even gotten in episode 1? I think once you're in episode 1.
Oh yeah. No, the Spider-Man cartoon, I finished like 75% of it, and then I dropped off. I should go back and finish it.
Gotcha. Okay, so I didn't realize you were that far ahead. I really enjoyed that one, and with X-Men coming up before it, I'm feeling good. Again, there is a chance though, and I don't want to give that crazy guy Bo any like extra points here, but like they have to prove they could do it without him now. So we'll see if they don't do it without him. That's going to be a tough look for Marvel. But I have faith here, just based on the fact that clip leaked online and had millions of views. I'm like, shit, X-Men 97 is much more official than, I never knew how it grasped audiences, and people love their X-Men. So, by the way, X-Men, the new one, the date is May 5th, 2028, the fakest date of all time. May 5th, 2028. There's no chance we're making it to
We're not making it there. No. VISIONQUEST had a panel. The White Vision has all the memories of the original Vision, but he struggles to connect with the emotions. We learned that Ultron, James Spader, will return. Ultron, Friday, Edith, Dumb E, and Jarvis will all appear in their human forms, which is weird. It's interesting. It's giving. We don't have the budget to make all of these people robots. I'm excited for it, though. What I've heard, we're going to Madripoor in this show as well.
Oh,
thank God. Give us a little bit more Madripoor with maybe the Power Broker running things again. That was just a loose end that's out there in the Marvel universe. We don't know if that's ever going to get tied up. Excited for VISIONQUEST. Also excited for Wonder Man, which we're going to get in January of next year. Had a whole trailer. We know that Ralph Cifaretto, Joey Pants, is going to be in it at some point. I think the trailer looks intriguing, and I do have like an affinity towards movies or TV shows about the making of movies or TV shows. I always love that, where it's like, we're making a movie in this movie, and you get a little bit of Hollywood and behind the scenes stuff. I don't really know the story of Wonder Man. I don't know a lot about Wonder Man, so I'm excited to see where this goes. I think it could be a sneaky sleeper hit.
Yeah, I looked it up, and because I don't know anything about Wonder Man either, and with a name like Wonder Man, you're like, this guy had to have been pretty fucking awesome, right? Because they give those kind of names to the badass heroes, and pretty much seems like he is, I guess, like almost like a Captain Marvel level of power. It looks like he's just flight, super strength, ionic power, whatever it's called. Like, we're dealing with an actor who I guess maybe gets the powers at some point. I didn't want to dive in too deep because I didn't want to like learn the whole story before I watched the show. But looks like we could have a pretty awesome hero on our hands. Actor seems like it'd be a good time. I like the Mandarin being in it. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was good.
The like nodded winks with like, did you see that one of the what do they call the little clappers, like the time that the
clappers
action,
I think
they call that it's a cash grab too. It was the name of one of the movies. And I'm like,
or slates, maybe they call them slates, I think.
Slates. And I was laughing, and then I'm like, wait a second, Marvel, like, you guys can't be too on the nose with it, because you have been fucking us with some of these cash grabs for years. And then it's like I guess you could even say the shows are like cash grabs because they're making us subscribe to the streaming network.
True.
So
and they keep hiking that up.
Yes, have your fun, do your little things. just like the audience is still watching, and we know you're fucking us along the way.
Don't laugh at us. Laugh with us.
Try to laugh with us. Like, don't make any Secret Invasion jokes about how this show, some like untitled alien show, was an absolute disaster.
Oh, they're definitely going to make a show about like, oh, this is going straight to streaming. And we're going to be like, but come on, though.
And the only people who have to watch are the idiots who podcast about this stuff, right? And the diehard fans who are the bread and butter of our like audience. That'll drive me.
But what if there's an in-universe like, oh yeah, that Mother's Basement show? Oh, they could get us on their side.
That's all you need. Tony Dave was always like, if LeBron said he liked Barstool, like I would instantly become a LeBron fan. That's all it takes. Like, you guys have me for life if you just give us one, or at least ask Chalamet the goddamn question about the Knicks or the Oscar award. Because I think
some familiar actors in the trailer as well. We got the president of Baravia as the director, and Wonder Man himself is from Watchmen. He was Dr. Manhattan, Cal.
So the Watchmen thing I was fine with because that's been enough time. The President of Baravia being like now in Marvel was fucking with my head. It was
quick.
Really
I know, and he's such a specific his look is crazy. His hair's all over the place. His accent's very recognizable. So it wasn't like he could just like jump back. It's like, oh, President of Baravia.
Now, if like James Gunn was in charge, do you think he would also be like the actor from that movie is now directing this Wonder Man project or producing it or whatever? Like that, and then you're basically saying Superman is real in Marvel, just like Marvel is real in DC, right?
And he kind of is like, because in Eternals they make Batman canon. Do they say Superman as well? They might.
I think there was something along those lines, but I mean, if you didn't, you could do it right here and be like, listen, we know this guy was just watched by millions of people as the President of Arabia. We're just going to steer into the skid here instead of like act like it didn't happen. Because like you said, he's the same guy. He's the same character. Yeah. He's just from America at this point.
Invincible season 4 got a quote unquote trailer, more of a teaser. It was just Adam, Eve, and Invincible himself sitting at a diner, but funny. I liked it. That releases March 2026. One of the big announcements they made at their panel is that Lee Pace will be the voice of Thrag, who I know everyone's really highly anticipating to come into the fold. He's a Viltrumite. Lee Pace, you may know as Ronan the Accuser, who was a lackluster villain, but a great voice, if we're being honest.
Ronan was terrible as a character, but he had things that should have worked. It's just, I think it all
hammer. Yeah, he's got some sauce.
Yeah, he has some sauce. I don't think I saw any of the other teasers that they had for Invincible in the past, but I heard one time, maybe before this last one, they had said like kind of like a wink, like what was with that gap? Because remember the gap between the seasons?
I remember that. Yeah,
I've seen it. This one I saw. I don't
very
think
meta. Yeah,
I might have to go back and take a look at them now, knowing how the seasons ended up. But I really like this one. It was entertaining, and it kind of makes you miss like just hanging out with your pals on the TV screen.
I'm excited for this as well. Hell of an animation slate next year. We're getting Invincible season 4. We're in X-Men 97 season 2. We're getting Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2. A lot of good stuff. And at the end of this year, we're getting a new Batman show on Amazon Prime as well. Fan, releasing November 10th. It looks like a goofy one. It's in the same animation style and I think universe as the like Home Alone type Batman animated thing that came out last year around Christmas. It was like a very merry Batman Christmas. Very wacky, very fun. It's like basically Wayne Manor gets rigged like the Home Alone house and all the villains come in on Christmas.
I see it here.
Goofy, but I'm always down for stuff like this existing in the Batman universe, especially when, as we've mentioned time and time again on this podcast, it's been a while since you could take a child to go see a Batman movie. So
that's true.
Throw in some goofy Batman stuff. Make sure the kids are still enjoying this guy.
Batman love the kids. You got to give Batman a little bit of love, or they're just singing jingle bells about a character they don't even know anymore, right?
Yeah. I'm sure the Lego game will do wonders for him next year as well.
That's true. The Spider-Verse coming out after all this in 27 is crazy. And I know the crazy labor those animators had to go through just to get.
And let's be honest, that's getting delayed again.
It's coming out after X-Men, which is 28, which is a big day. So we're fucked. We're never seeing. Oh, my sweet roll. Rio? I forgot her name.
Rio.
Yeah, Miles' mom. I miss her.
Speaking of things that have taken forever to come out, Stranger Things season 5, finally coming out soon. We've got the run times for the first 4 episodes. Episode 1, an hour and 8 minutes. Episode 2, a short one, 54 minutes. Episode 3, an hour and 6 minutes. And episode 4, basically a full-length movie, an hour and 24 minutes. People are complaining. I get it. They're releasing it on holidays. It's weird. It's like, how am I going to find the time to watch all of this? Especially when we do podcasts about it. We're going to have to fucking crank this stuff out. I'm excited. If this is the last Stranger Things we're getting, if they're up to the quality level of season 4, sure. You've taken forever to give us season 5. It's because you're making fucking movies every week. It's fine.
Yeah. Again, I wish I didn't get everyone's movie length, 90 to 120 minutes. I get that. I knew it was probably too good to be true. It was too good to be true. So like it kind of takes me the other way, or I'm so excited for it. And I'm like, oh man, I wish we were getting like that 54-minute episode is going to be so fast. But that's the thing about Stranger Things that I'm excited about. There were so many times where they just dropped the whole season. It was like if not the first, it was one of the first big shows that you just got it all. You could binge as slow or fast as you want. And it just stopped like the conversation from being about what just happened. And then the memes would kind of be at a different pace when they would come out. I'm kind of excited. We're going to be kind of on the same path for that. And I don't understand why these streaming studios don't realize that during those holiday seasons, that is when you can just like hammer out, get some good quality stuff. People are going to watch it. I go back to it all the time. Bird Box, from what I can gather, again, didn't see it, was not a very good movie. But everyone in the world was talking about it because they just were like, they sat down with their family, needed someone to watch. It was like an hour and a half. It was number 1 on like the little thing. It appeared automatically on their Netflix, and they just watched it. So to do that with Stranger Things, which again,
bro, Tiger King wasn't good. I don't know why people still talk about Tiger King like that was amazing. I got it by like halfway through the second episode. I was like, I get it. I'm done. Yeah. But again, it took over the world because it was right time, right place. This could be the same as you're saying.
Correctamundo, Bob. And again, these are 2 guys that have been praising how good Stranger Things 4 was, which the only people who hate on Stranger Things 4 are the people that either didn't watch it or forgot about it, because that shit was cooking. Better than, again, any season other than maybe season 1, I think we said. Yeah. And it's just because season 1 was so original and new. But man, 4, they unleashed this whole new world. And it's so good that I do think they're going to have like a post-finale life if they want. You know, Netflix is going to bleed this thing for every dollar they can get on the way. The Duffers will just be signing their name as executive producers, and that's it. And hopefully the best comes out of whoever takes over. But man, this shit has become so like deep and thorough. I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Let me say this though. I already saw a news story today. Barb will appear in season 5. Enough with Barb. Fuck Barb. I'm not with the justice for Barb. I know you're not either. Enough Barb. She sucked. She was in like 1.5 episodes.
She sucked from day one. It was I feel like it was an ironic movement people had. And then,
I think it was, yeah. And then it became real at some point.
It's like the Morbius stuff, except the people who thought it was like real, like they didn't catch the memo of it all. I hated Barb. I hated her from day one. I hated her stupid eyebrows. I hated everything about her.
She sucked.
People watching on YouTube saw my face. I just went back in time. I haven't even thought of Barb. I didn't know they were bringing her back. And I just can't believe how long ago and what the world was like when Barb was actually alive on this show. And I just went back like 17 different dimensions, basically. Think about where we were in 2016, just as a world, an internet, even.
Yeah.
A different.
I was 12. I grew up with the Stranger Things kids, basically. All right. I wanted to shout this out before we get into Gen V as well. DCKO is awesome. So this series just started. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast. Just 1 issue's out right now. And it's a new DC series where they're basically just doing an MMA tournament. I think we talked about it with Jose, maybe. They're like, all right, 32 of the best heroes and villains in DC put in an MMA Grand Prix. And we got a lot of information about it at New York Comic-Con. The details are cooler than I could have imagined. Every issue, I think, is going to be a different matchup in this big DCKO tournament. And the matchups are very wrestling inspired. They're 2 out of 3 falls. So if you lose the first matchup, you can be reincarnated as any version of your character from DC history, any version from all the lore. So they've already said at New York Comic Con, one of the first matchups is Red Hood versus Joker. And they're like, we're going to give you a little spoiler here. Red Hood's losing the first round, and coming back is Jason Todd Robin. And they're going back to the fucking warehouse and having a rematch. So they're doing like all-time dream matches, basically. They've already teased the Absolute Universe Trinity coming in as well. I think this is, you have the potential to get in at the ground floor right now. I think this is going to be fucking massive. Go get DCKO issue 1. It's got an awesome cover where it looks like it says DCKO. You flip it, the DCKO is clear, so you're seeing through it onto the next page. It's going to be awesome. I told you about Absolute Batman early on. I'm telling you about DCKO right now. And common link between the two of them, Scott Snyder. This guy's the best comic writer going right now, I think.
That was my first question. There's a bracket challenge?
There's a bracket. Dude, it's awesome. I'm telling you, DCKO, awesome event they're doing.
You always enter a bracket challenge no matter what.
Yeah.
How little you may know. Wait, can I enter it here? All distant picks. I don't know. The DC crashes. I guess the Joker wasn't in it at first. The Joker just ended. Okay, I'm in. I don't know if I'm going to get in like reading it all, but I am. This is a great idea. You guys were kind of skeptical. You guys were kind of a little skeptical, right?
Because it was just how do you do something like that?
Yeah,
bring in everyone. It's all just fights. Is there story involved? But I'm all in. At this point, I'm like, I trust Scott Snyder. He's the guy that created the Court of Owls back when they relaunched Batman in 2011, I want to say. I follow this guy into the fire at this point, especially with how good Absolute Batman has been.
You've sold me. I imagine you've sold a lot of the listeners that would potentially be getting into it. And if it flops, they can all be like, Robbie.
Yeah, it's on me.
Yeah, you have to wear it. You have to wear this one. Just like when you make your recommendations to Dave and then he hates them. He hates the show completely independently. This is Rob. He's going out on the limb here, people. So DCK, I'm going to fill out my bracket. I can't wait. And I will just live and die with my bracket, if nothing else along the way here.
And a reminder, we're doing a comic book club at the end of the month on Batman The Long Halloween. Still time to get it and read through the book. Do it on your commute. Do it on a train. Do it at the end of the night. Have a little funny looking cigarette, and then there you go. Halloween.
Halloween is on our release.
It's on a Friday, right? Yeah. And we're doing a huge stream at the New York office the day before, 12-hour stream on Roan.com. That's going to be a lot of fun. Costume contest with the theme Heroes. I have a couple ideas I'm trying to work up. I'm trying not to go basic, I'm trying not to go to Ruby's and buy myself a costume. I'm going to try to make something.
That's the way to go about it, for sure. So the Long Halloween recap, will we just put that on Halloween?
I think on Halloween itself, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And at this point, the Batman is becoming a Halloween movie for me. I think I said it last year, but the fact that it opens on Halloween with that fucking narrative from Bruce Wayne, Batman, talking about, Thursday, Halloween. Fucking come on. I'm watching that every Halloween.
You bumped up?
And you'll see a lot of, I'm bumped up. And you'll see a lot of parallels from The Long Halloween to the Batman, because that was one of the big inspirations for it. So that'll be fun to break down with Jose, the professor himself.
Yeah, shout out. I can't wait. I was also told we have to ask Jose about Salvation, because it's going to.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
The 1% of people that were like diehard readers, they said, trust me, what we're getting here, this was a big reveal in Peacemaker. You guys just don't realize it. So,
and James Gunn did come out and say, he's like, we're not doing the Salvation storyline, but we are bringing Salvation in. He's like, the storyline involves Lex versus the Joker. He's like, that ain't happening, but we're taking some things from it.
I also want to say that from my personal point of view, maybe, and I'll be the James Gunn PR guy. Maybe he's like, if the Marvel equivalent had been announced or revealed, there might have been a different oomph. But I do feel like DC doesn't have as many of those big, like, I feel like with Thanos, when the fucking Infinity Gauntlet came out, people were like, holy fuck. I don't know if that's equal to anywhere close to this, but it's just not going to be the same unless you hit a couple of those monster temples, which I don't think he did here.
It's also, I'll say this. I don't know if he watches everything. I wonder how much of Marvel content has James Gunn watched. Part of me was like, this might be very different in the comics, but just the way it was presented to us, it's the Void, and he got purged or pruned to the Void. It's like, has James Gunn watched Loki to know we had an incredibly similar scene as a cliffhanger to an episode where it was like, I'm not saying he ripped it off, but it was so parallel that, like, I think for a lot of people that watch all of this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, we've seen that before. And it's not the big shocking reveal that maybe it is in his mind.
That's fair. And I don't know if this is true, but I've been watching a lot of his old interviews recently, just not even that old, those Superman ones. And he was saying how he was a DC fan growing up, not a Marvel fan, like reading and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff might carry more weight to him and the other DC people other than the Marvel people, which I was. And I do think that Marvel just has so many characters. DC has they're top heavy. Marvel just has such a breadth with all their different guys as well too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel did has become this force, and they didn't even get to use like a lot of their biggest. It's crazy.
I know.
They did it all without X-Men.
We're bringing X-Men and Fantastic Four in now. 15 years in. Yeah.
It's like they should have, after Endgame, if they could have just mixed those in at that point, it would have been, and obviously the pandemic and all the other shit doesn't happen, it would have been like, holy fuck, it would have been like almost impossible.
I mean, X-Men's 2028, you said?
Yeah, fake time.
It's literally 20 years into the MCU. We're like, all right, let's call up the X-Men.
that franchise that carried us for years and years. Nuts.
Yeah, crazy. All right, before we get into Gen V, let's remind everyone about Game Time, the absolute best. We can't wait for all the amazing concerts coming up this fall. I know I can't wait. But what we don't want to think about is the hassle of buying tickets. Always sucks. We want to focus on the music, not the cost or the stress. And Game Time puts the power back in the hands of fans. It's your go-to hack for scoring amazing tickets, amazing deals, and unforgettable experiences in just a few taps. I actually used Game Time to go to a hockey game this last week with Nate and Feidelberg. Rangers cannot score at MSG. They're the only team in hockey history, I think, that haven't scored in their 3 opening home games. But we had great seats thanks to Game Time. Incredibly easy to use if I pull up Game Time right now and I look at some concerts. How about this? At the end of the month, Sunday, the 26th, Sabrina Carpenter will be at Madison Square Garden. That's the hottest ticket in the world right now. You could go to one of those MSG shows for $248. That would be a hell of a date night, a night out with the boys, a night out with the girls, whatever you want to make it. Fees are always included too. So what you see is what you pay. It's not like $248 and then plus $70 on top of that, like all of the other ticket sites do. That's what you're paying. What you see is what you get. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MMB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code MMB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Shout out Game Time.
Shout out Game Time.
All right. Gen V, the penultimate episode, episode 7. I was just asking Robbie Goochman out there if he's been watching. Because I think he liked The Boys season 1, hasn't really liked much of The Boys after that, but he liked Gen V season 1. So are you watching season 2? He was like, no, not yet. I said, it seems like nobody's watching this, if we're being honest. There was a tweet that kind of went viral this week of people being like, nobody's talking about Gen V at all. I can't even tell that it's on. I agree. I haven't seen many tweets about it. At the same time, they're quietly putting together a pretty good season. Like so far, there hasn't been like a standout episode to me where I'm like, oh my God, that was outrageous. But as a whole, I kind of like the storylines of this season. I like the performances of this season. I like the way it's been structured. So I think they're putting together a pretty good season under the radar.
Yeah, I think we said that we couldn't believe it had premiered when it did because it's like, again, I should be so flooded with Gen V commercials when I go on Prime. It should be every time there's a commercial break on Thursday Night Football. By the way, I've been wanting to tweet this forever, but it's especially true. I'll say it on the pod. Like I'm sure you've watched like Thursday Night Football where they have like a deodorant commercial and it says like click here to add it to your cart. When they figure out how to put ads of stuff that I actually want or need, I'm fucking cooked. Because I'm like, man, that's so convenient. But I have one brand of deodorant. I get the exact same version of it. I'm not going to just buy this random one. But if they found something that's like, this is $20, it's going to make you feel good from the time you buy it to the time it arrives. And then in a day, that new product buzz will wear off. I'm in real trouble. But there should also be, they should have fucking Gen V during the game and hear Al Michaels say, Gen V this week, Marie Moreau, and blah, 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 blah. Do something with Kirk Herbstreit's dog. I don't know. I'm not trying to come up with stuff for Amazon, but it did just kind of sneak up on us, and it's almost over now. I can't believe this was the penultimate. I'm with you. I feel like, so they built up these characters. I feel like they've built up a few of the characters to be very important. And I do think there's the other ones kind of stayed the same, but I don't know if they're going to transition this to the boys. Like, is Marie Moreau going to become a big character in the boys? Godolkin could be a big part of that. She has to be, though, right?
Yeah.
But
I think she has to be.
But that's a problem because the final season of a show, having characters that clearly nobody knows about because everyone's saying it's just happening. It's the tree falling in the forest. Well, we're going to go to the forest and we're going to find this tree. And if the tree is very important to our walk through the forest, people are like, why the fuck did that thing fall? And me, you, and like 20 other people are the only people who knew. So that's a bit concerning to me. The storylines, I think, have been all right. However, this is just me. This is me personally. And this was my first note that's completely independent of the whole episode. I kind of liked where we were last season with Gen V. I liked when we were on campus. We got to meet a lot of people with a lot of
agree with that a little bit. I like the on-campus stuff a little bit more than how much they've been off campus. I agree. I'm with you.
I feel like I'm getting the boys light right now, where it's like we have the team. They're going through their stuff. They're fighting the same goddamn villain every week, which is kind of what Homelander got out of it again. And it's like I wish we had more on campus.
And it's like, thank God they got the casting they did with Cypher. Because he's made it, you know, if we didn't have a good actor as him, it would be rough.
Yeah, because he carries a lot of this season. Yes. Whereas on campus, it kept it loose. You learned other superpowers. You also get to kind of get a glimpse of, you know, the is it Gen Z right now that's in college? I don't even know what generation is in college right now. I kind of like seeing like their world, but with the superhero lens on it. And this other stuff is like, again, it's not as good as the boys, and it's kind of just a watered down version of the boys, which kind of bums me out for the season. But I do think like they can make it very important, but I do think if they make these characters almost too important or the events too important, people will be like, what the fuck? Like they were kind of a last minute frame at the end of a very important boys season and season finale. And I just don't know if they can get more than that without the audience being like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't want to put the secret invasion taste in everybody's mouth right
no, Bob! You said the word.
But the way that you just described Marie going into the final season kind of made me think it's like if Secret Invasion did a really good job with Emilia Clarke's character. It would almost be like they did such a horrific job with the Drax arm and all that we were like, all right, let's just forget that ever happened. We'll excuse Marvel brushing that under the rug. But if we loved her character, but she was still at that power level where they were basically like, all right, you're the most strong person we've ever seen on screen. We probably would have been like, all right, so she has to be in the next Avengers movie, right? Like they just introduced the most popular, powerful, I guess not popular, most powerful superhero out there. It kind of feels like that, where it's like, she has to be in it because she's, according to this show, the only person that can match Homelander. But I'm pretty sure the entire boys has been building up to like Huey and Butch killing Homelander. So they put themselves in a weird spot for sure.
Yes. And I mean, I've talked about it in the past, and to each their own. I'm very much over the gross out stuff. I'm just like another guy coming out of another asshole. This morning.
I watched this morning at work, and I just had this disgusted look on my face when Hempel fucking crawls out of his ass. And I think Nate looked at me and I was like, I just got to explain the disgusted look on my face. I need you to watch this for a second. And I played that for him. He was like, yeah, it's gross. It's really gross. Why do you watch that? And what did he call it? He said something. He's like, oh, what are you watching? Fucking Cage Commanders. And I was like,
Oh, no.
well, no. And he was like, describe to me like what you're watching. I was like, well, this guy's got this other guy in a cage. And he was like, huh? I was like, you're not too far off. But listen, this episode, it was pretty good, I would say, as a penultimate episode up to the big reveal. And then that kind of like, that made it for me.
Carried the day.
For sure. The reveal made it all worth it. Some of the notes that I had on it prior, I think the storyline of polarity being the only one that could kind of like get in the way of the cipher powers. Good stuff. I liked all of that. Healing polarity's tremors. That was a good scene. The crawling out of the ass scene was just absolutely preposterous. Sam and Greg getting into it over Emma, I feel like was a good like love triangle type storyline. She was like, you could finger me till he comes. And I was like, Jesus Christ, some of this dialogue is insane. And then I liked the Annabeth getting like the future flashes and warning Marie and stuff. Even the Marie scene where she lifts everybody up and she wants Kate to make them go away to save them. And they're like, fucking put those people down. I thought that was all good stuff. Then we get up to the reveal. Spoilers, obviously. We're talking spoilers already. Lady Fox just absolutely nailing this season from the jump. One of the greatest calls I've ever seen in the history of this podcast, and it wasn't made by you or me.
I'll just say the greatest call ever made. We make the worst calls in the history of the podcast. Was again, I called a dead dog sus. I feel terrible about it to this day. It was very early on, and it's something I've had to live with. And Lady Fox is out here just throwing fucking bullseyes from the jump, just like probably
from like episode 2 or 3 or something. It was like nobody was saying this online. I don't think nobody that I saw. This was she said it, and I was like, am I an idiot for not thinking about that? But then week in and week out, us mentioning it, I got people being like, I don't think that's right. It was right.
Dead on balls accurate, as the one Marissa Tomei once said, Mona Lisa Vito. And this is the thing. It's one of those things that if you rewatch the season, it would be like, oh, this is so much better. I didn't realize. It's like we got to watch it in real time, knowing that this was probably the case, and it made me a better person. Lady Fox, MVP of the season. I'm giving her, without even seeing the finale, I'm giving her MVP of the season because it made my viewing experience. And then when my wife was watching it, I'm like, she fucking nailed it. And we're like watching the skin go back on his body. I'm like, holy
I know that
shit.
Scene was well done CGI too, where it was like bubbling and stuff, and it looked fucked up, but like in a way that impressed me for television. I'm also excited. Lady Fox has been on a work trip all week. She hasn't seen this yet, so I get to watch her prediction come right, which is like interesting. Usually I'm showing her Breaking Bad and you see Lily of the Valley, and I'm watching for the shocked reaction that I know is coming. I'm watching for her to be like, you see, I fucking told you. But I'm gonna be like, she's gonna be like, I know.
Now give me Lady Fox's temperament. Is she someone who will take a bow, maybe just be like, I told you, and like, gloat a little bit?
I see her fucking hitting a little fist pump. Like, okay. Yes, I see her, being like, she will not gloat, but she'll be very, very happy that she nailed that prediction. She's fucking, I've said it on the podcast before too. She's good with predictions across all different kinds of movies. She likes true crime shit and true crime podcasts, and I think that helps her. I think she's like getting her reps in, and then they make like a detective show, and she's like, I don't know, it's this guy for sure. I'm like, no. We can trust this guy. And then by the end, he's the fucking killer. I'm like, I shouldn't have been trusting that guy.
You'd be dead as fuck if you were living in that universe right now.
Yeah,
my wife has some premonitions too, where I'm just like, God damn it. Like, maybe it's a women thing and they just are smarter than us. Let's call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is. Speaking of smart women, I have to say, I really just like, I really like the Sage character more and more, because it's like, God damn it, she's so goddamn good. And in the end, I want to know what her end game is with all this stuff with Homelander, all this stuff with Godolkin. Like, I feel like she's going to want exactly what she wants, and she's going to probably get it because she is a fucking winner in this goddamn Game of Thrones or whatever we're playing right now. And I'm making my prediction, which I guess I'm going to have you run by Lady Fox to see if it's completely dumb or not. I feel like at the end of Godolkin's run, whenever it may be, I don't think it's going to be next episode. I think next episode is going to get dark, potentially, as he's killing these people. That killing the kid was fucking dark, right?
Hempel making him choke himself, and you see the blood from the chains. Oh, so dark.
Very dark. Hempel. Yes. I do think next episode will probably be more of the same. I don't know if it'll be in The Boys, another season in Gen V, whatever other parts of the universe they go to. I think he's going to burn alive again. I think I'm calling it now. I don't know when it's going to be, but that's my call for Godolkin's fate.
Is there a chance they do something where Marie finally heals Kate? She's the one that can control people's minds. She gets in his mind because he's been getting in everyone else's mind. She finally gets one over on him. Then she makes him kill himself or something.
Kate's redemption is going to be interesting because I still don't trust Kate. I have no problem with Marie being like, GFY. Oh my God. I also don't trust Greg. Sus as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't trust him either. No, I'm with you there.
There's like, it could be one of those things where you look back and it's like every time our heroes were in peril, it's because these guys did some shady shit behind the scenes. So I don't trust anyone at this point, but I really don't trust Kate. I
trust a couple people.
I can't believe you trust Kate. You trust a gaggle. A gaggle is a good word. So just because you use gaggle, I will not fight you on that.
I'm pretty excited for the finale, though. The season as a whole, I'm not going to say it was the greatest season of all time. I think it was pretty good. Again, quietly under the radar. They built a pretty good season. I think they've built the show to a point where the finale could really crush.
Yes. I'm excited to see how the finale comes through.
Even seeing the way Cypher, when he gets, Godolphin is out of his mind, how he snaps immediately. It's like, no, that's not my name at all. Like, chill out. Finally, I'm free.
He reveals, he's like, I just got laid off at Blockbuster. It's like, dude, this guy's been in your brain for like 20 something years because that's the last time Blockbuster was around. I like those little breadcrumbs that they laid. And again, that actor, I'm buying my stock. I bought my stock in the Ozark actor from, I don't know what it was, season 4. And now he's in Task and everyone is just raving about the show. I'm awesome buying all my stock in. This guy isn't a big time actor, right? Do we know if this
guy's a Mike Flanagan guy? He was in Midnight Mass, and that was what I think a lot of people saw him first in. And then he did the voice of Batman in the new Cape Crusader. He's awesome in that as well. Okay,
so I'm buying him at a legitimate. I'm getting a good price on my.
Yeah, it looks like he's in the New Adventures of Old Christine. Oh, he's in The Big Short. I didn't realize that. He must have been a sort of small role in The Big Short because I don't really remember him there. But yeah, he's like. I feel like he's one of those actors, if you know, he's just awesome like that.
IYK. Okay. It's the best dramatic TV performance. He won the IGN Summer Movie Awards. I mean, the fact that he has 7 nominations and 3 wins, which includes ensemble for Big Short, right? I can't get too crazy about that. He was also in the 2005 Fantastic Four. Yikes. Battleship.
I saw that. Who was he in that?
So he's not a penny stock, but I'm getting him at a decent value right now. This is like, he was in Fargo for 4 episodes. Laurie Dollard.
Oh, really? What season?
Dollard.
I don't think I watched this season.
He has like glasses. He's an IRS agent.
Yeah, just seeing pictures of him. I'm like,
I remember the IRS agents. Okay, so again, Linklater. Would you say? He comes in second in the MVP race to Lady Fox for this season as of right now.
Yes. Oh, easily. Yeah.
Easily. It's not even close. I mean, he plays that arrogant prick so fucking well. And to think that arrogant prick is now like himself and after being caged up for years, is about to go on a tear. I should be more scared of Godolkin than I am right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And even just the way he talked to, what's his name? Herbie or Hempel. The way he talked to him at the end when he was like, what, you're in the bottom 10%, like we're trying to make gods, not fucking stupid powers. And the way he does that, he was just so cold about it.
By the way, right. Now I'm letting people know I have no clue if I was saying Godolkin. I don't know which one's right.
I know it's tough.
I might get it right next episode, but I was just coming in hot this episode, so hopefully they say
call him Papaltine.
Exactly. I don't want everyone getting mad at me for completely butchering this guy's name. At least he hasn't been in a movie that's decades upon decades old.
How about hashtag Lady Fox was right if you made it to the end of the episode?
Yes, 100%. If this actually is a hashtag, I am going to be freaked out. Lady
No
Fox
way.
is right. Nope, that isn't. But let's try was right. Is that one? Not yet, but we can make that different.
All right. If you made it to the end of the episode, tweet us, hit us with that hashtag, and we will talk to you next week for a big finale edition of Gen V. See you then.